I want to share a few experiences that have redefined ROI for me. The first letter R. For me, the most important R is reputation. One of the wealthiest and most successful investors in modern history, Warren Buffett, famously said that it takes 30 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. If you think about that, you'll do things differently. When I was a student here at UWI, I was a full-time student. I also worked full-time at Air Jamaica, and I also had a side business. At Air Jamaica, I had special privileges and used the opportunity to build what became a rather lucrative business of me purchasing items in the US and coming here to sell, purchasing items here and going back to the US to sell. Those days you could be called a trader, a higgler, an informal commercial importer. These days it's just called a side hustle. One day, a relative suggested to me that I could make a huge amount of money and have a far more lucrative business if I decided to use my special travel privileges to transport drugs. I was told it was hardly likely that I would be stopped. And even if I got caught, as a young female and first-time offender, I would get off lightly. Like many of you, I was finishing my first degree, and I concluded it was not worth it. I would simply continue to work hard and stay in the legal lane. Over 20 years later, I was being considered to be appointed to the Ambassador of the United States. And I was told that an extensive background check will be done on me. They will go from where I was born to every moment of my life. So I was asked, is there anything in your personal or professional life that we should be aware of? And you know, in that moment, I thought about that temptation that was placed before me. And I smiled, and I said, go ahead and do your investigation. I have nothing to embarrass me or to be ashamed of, or to stop my appointment. In my job today, every month I get a list of Jamaicans up for deportation from the US or extradition to the United States to face criminal charges. Locally, I read and hear stories of professional persons, including lawyers and finance executives, young men and increasingly young women who fall prey to the need to impress, to show off what you have not earned, and are becoming thieves, drug runners, gang members, and even murderers. I know the temptations will be many, from social media making you feel that you're not measuring up, sometimes pressure from community dons, pressure from family and friends. But today I'm here to say to you, guard your reputation with every ounce of resolve that you can find. Protect one of the most important things you will have in your life. That is your reputation and good name. The scripture teaches us that a good name is to be chosen rather than great riches. Money will come and money will go. But your good name and reputation for decency, honesty, fairness, and kindness is priceless. The O in ROI means, for me, opportunity. The sad news is everyone here will face major obstacles, setbacks, disappointments, and failures. The good news is that you can and should work as best as you can to learn from challenges and rise above them. I started Paymaster against all odds, and that's another story. But it grew rapidly, particularly when we were able to start operating the Paymaster services in post offices in approximately 65 locations across the island. One day in 2013, when I returned home, out of the blue, I was informed that the then government had taken the decision to terminate the Paymaster contract with the Postal Corporation. Overnight, half the company's business was taken away and handed to a competitor. We recognized immediately that this was going to cripple the business. And I began looking at the painful options of staff layoffs, bankruptcy, fire sale. The first action was to start a layoff process, and I called a staff meeting. But before I began to speak, many of the young single mothers who I had made a particular effort to hire because of their circumstances, they started to cry. And in that moment, I decided that there must be another way. And in a split second, I changed my speech from a notice about unavoidable layoffs to a call to action. In that moment, I realized that I had just returned from my first stint as ambassador to the United States and had gotten exposure to other ambassadors that represented 187 countries. I decided that these countries represented markets, and it was time to rise up, face our challenges, and make a pivot. Because I recall that 18 years before, in 1995, when the internet was just becoming commercial, I had created the first internet-based online payment system in the world, 3 months even before American payment system started. And it was now time to take that system to the world. It was hard, but with the support and hard work of my team, the loyalty and commitment of our customers, we were able to survive, grow, and eventually I sold a majority stake for a far greater value than the company had been valued before losing that contract. Always remember, graduates, always remember that you can rise from any situation. When you get hit down, think about how you can turn that situation into an opportunity. The Chinese word for crisis is comprised of 2 characters. One word is danger, and the other word is opportunity. Always seek to find the opportunity in the circumstances. The final letter in my ROI is impact. I for impact. I want to end today by encouraging you to strive to lead a life of impact. The scriptures remind us that we are made in the image and likeness of God, our Creator. I take this to mean that we all possess a special creative gift, which is the ability to use our powers and abilities to influence and help the lives of others. Let us use this power for good. As you have picked up by now, by nature, I'm a serial entrepreneur. So in 2016, I started a new business. My first contract was for $1 million US. 3 months later, I was asked by the Prime Minister to return to Washington. This time it was a very difficult decision. But I knew what I value most in life is to be of service, to impact and transform lives. And 70% of our economy depends on what happens in the USA. So here I am. And just to say that we do a lot of work that you will not hear of. And I want to ask you to always appreciate your public servants. You might not always agree with them, but appreciate them. Not all of you would want to serve our country as diplomats or public officials, but I want to encourage you that whatever you do in your life, strive to have impact and find ways to give back to your country. We're at a pivotal point in our development of our beloved country, and we need all of you to play your part so that Jamaica may, under God, increase in beauty, fellowship, and prosperity, and play your part and play our part in advancing the welfare of the whole human race.